Hello and welcome to another wrap-up. My sleeves are extra long because this shirt is like that and I kind of love it, so get ready to just see sleeves instead of hands. So in October I ended up reading 5 books. I think that is the worst I've done so far this year in a month, but it's fine. 5 books is fine. 5 books is pretty good. That's almost, it's more than a book a week, so it's pretty good. Let's just get into the stats. So in terms of genre, I read 3 fantasy books and 2 contemporary or romance books. And then in terms of star rating, I read 1 4.5 star, 1 3.5 star, 2 2.5 stars, and 1 2 star. And in total, I read 2,077 pages, which isn't that bad. I read a few big books, so yeah. Okay, let's get into the books. So the first book that I read in October was Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton, I think? I don't really know. Which follows Fortuna, obviously, who is the last of her kind, which are nightmares. They can figure out your worst fear and make it seem like it is happening when it's not, it's all in your head. I hope that made sense, but she and her brother are the last of their kind, and her brother disappeared 2 years before this book takes place, and Fortuna is trying to find him still. And one day she is approached by a fae or fairy man, and he says that he can help her find her brother in exchange for them marrying each other, which, love that. That is the book. I loved this. I gave it a 4.5. Beautiful. This was so fun to read. I'm really excited to continue with this series. I'm in love. It's not a full 5 stars, but it's still really good. It has a lot of tropes or like things that I really love. There's enemies to lovers, a marriage of convenience, obviously, as I said, morally gray characters, there's like a trial. I love this. The only complaint I did have was that it was sort of predictable, except for the ending literally shook me a little bit, so I don't know what that says about the plot twist. I don't know if I'm just stupid or if it's really good. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Becca, for recommending this to me because new favorite series, question mark. The next book that I read was an ARC from NetGalley called Court of the Vampire Queen, and we're not going to judge me for reading it, which is by Katie Robert, I think, if I remember correctly. I saw Katie Robert on TikTok being talked about a lot, some of her books, so when I saw this on NetGalley, I immediately asked for it because I wanted to try it out. So our main character, Mina, is half a vampire, and she gets sent as a sacrifice or something to one of the vampire bloodlines, is what they call them. There are 7, like the oldest vampires that exist in this world are the bloodline leaders. I don't really know. She gets sent him as a sacrifice because she is half vampire and doesn't have any powers. And she gets sent to him to be a blood, to be like food, but also satisfy him in any way he wants. Yeah, and I don't really want to spoil in case anyone wants to read this. Yeah. So I gave this a 2.5. Was this good? No. Was it entertaining? A little bit. It's 99.9% spice. There's literally no plot, let's be honest. It doesn't exist. I don't really know what the plot was. It doesn't make any sense as well. And also what existed of plot was very predictable. The romance slash spicy smut realness, the romance, like, I don't feel like it's romance, it's more like lust. It was very, I don't know. The spicy scenes were great. If that's what you want, read this because this is on crack. But this is a reverse harem book, and I've discovered after reading 2 books this year with that in a book that I don't like that. I don't know. It's not my vibe. I've tried it twice, it's not for me. But if you like this might be a book for you, I don't know. It was entertaining, but like it was not good. That's why I gave it a 2.5. The next book that I read in October was Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which is the second and last book in these Violent Delights series, duology. Yeah, the first one, if you don't know what, if you've never heard of this book, the first one is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in the 1920s in Shanghai. And there's also kind of a magical element, which is there's some sort of monster going around in Shanghai killing people. So I read the first one a year ago or sometime, like a long time ago. And I did enjoy it. I gave it a 4-star. I didn't really think about it though, so it could have been changed to 3 if we really think about it. But I didn't, so that's on me. It was enjoyable, but like, it was not really for me. I didn't care about the main couple and their romance, so it was fine. And so this book I gave a 2-star. I did not like this. It followed really, really closely to the original play, so it's very predictable because of that. All of the plot twists were kind of predictable and I dislike that, so that was not good. The characters, again, I feel the same as with the first book. I don't care about Juliet and Roma. I cared so much more about Benedict and Marshall, but they got like one scene that was good and I'm sad about that. And I really hated the ending. It's kind of an open ending and I really hate that. So no, I did not like this. I might even unhaul this whole series, but I still need to think about it because I feel bad because it is hardcover. But yeah, I did not like this book. The next book that I read in October was Save the Date by Morgan Matson. So this book follows a family of 5 children, okay? And we follow the youngest, which is Charlie. She's 17. Charlie's oldest sister, Linny, is getting married. And so everyone is coming back to their original house to prepare and attend the wedding. And everything going on with the wedding event is going wrong somehow. And so Charlie and the wedding planner's nephew, I think, it's not son, it's nephew, try to fix everything. I think that made sense. This is a very confusing book. Yeah, basically it's a book about everything going wrong with the wedding and the main character trying to fix it. I gave this a 3.5. It was the worst of the Morgan Matson books I've read so far, which it's not a bad book. 3.5 is not bad, but like I'm kind of disappointed. Going into this, I thought this was a romance. It's not. It's more contemporary and it focuses around Charlie's family and the siblings relationship, stuff like that, which is fine, but like that's not really what I wanted, so whatever. This book gave me a lot of stress because everything goes wrong, unrealistically wrong, and that just gives me like Mr. Bean vibes, and I literally hate Mr. Bean. The original show, the cartoon is fine. It just gives me stress and anxiety and I don't like that when watching or reading something, and this was giving that. The plot was predictable, so that was another minus. But apart from that, it was fun to read. It was enjoyable. I really liked the capture the flag scene and the interview scene at the end. They were fun. I still love Morgan Matson, but this just was not as great as the other ones. And the last book that I read in October was Don't Hate the Player by Alexis Ned. This follows 2 main characters, Amelia and Jake. Amelia is a popular girl at school. She gets amazing grades, but at night she plays video games. It's called Glow, Guardians League Online, I think, if I remember correctly. And she is in this like professional team that want to compete in a competition. I hope that makes sense. And Jake is kind of the opposite of Amelia. He's a nerd. He has his own group of friends that are solely online, no friends at school, stuff like that. And he also wants to be a professional video game player, and they are both gonna compete in this tournament in separate teams that are rivals. And obviously Jake has had a crush on Amelia since forever, so that's what the book is about. So when I heard about this book and bought it, I was really excited because I love video games and Glow sounds very similar to the games I play, so I was excited. And also Rivals to Lovers is great, but this was kind of disappointing. I really despised Amelia. I think she ruined this book. I gave it a 2.5. It could have been a 3.5 if Amelia wasn't so horrible. I really hated Amelia. She just ruined it for me. She says a lot of dumb stuff that I don't enjoy. Like, she called Jake, without knowing who he is, but whatever, nerd in her head, which doesn't make any sense to me, because why would you demean someone that does the exact same thing as you just because you think you're better and you don't want anyone to, I don't know. She just annoyed me. I'm gonna read, I wrote down the quotes. Relax, nerd, I don't want your cupcake. Ew. Also, she's a quirky swearer, which is one of the things I hate. Sweet Christmas was said like at least 3 times, and every time it just made me increasingly more pissed. Increasing. And also, another 2 quotes that I need to mention because they really pissed me off. A thrill garnish, if I may. Thrarnish. And then another one. I'm feeling nervous and lucky at the same time. Narucky? Lurvus? What the fucking shit is that? Yeah. Amelia, basically, top reason why I literally hated this. The plot was also really predictable and not that great. The gaming part was fun, but I don't think anyone that isn't a gamer would ever understand half of what is going on. Because I've watched tournaments, and it was pretty similar, I feel. But like, anyone who hasn't is gonna be like, what is even going on? Probably, and also the lingo, I don't know. But the only thing that was redeeming and good about this, except for the gaming that was good, is Jake and his team, which is Team Unity. Loved them, they were so cool. I would have much preferred a book about them and not as much Amelia, because she's the focus. Most of the POVs are hers. There's like 3 POVs that are Jake's. I would have much preferred it the other way around, but here we are. Jake and his team were so great characters. They were barely there, but they had potential, if you know what I mean. Like, they weren't fully developed, but they had a potential of being great, if that makes sense. And also I really liked that the chapters that were Jake's POV, that were just the chat messages, loved that. Makes so much sense. Should have been the whole book like that. Would have been so good. So these are all the books I read in October. I had an okay time. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't great. It was okay. However, I do have a new favorite book, so that's exciting. I'm really excited to continue on with the Fortuna Sworn series, so at least there's that. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!